Ezra Lee Crenshaw, Sr. I'm 62 years old, but presently retired from instruction and the ministry. I was a Baptist and a Methodist minister. I ride horses and motorcycles, and prior to this, I did all of those things. But at present, I don't walk out of the house because I'm so afraid of catching COVID again. I'm not comfortable. And when I'm around people, I have to watch those people so much that I don't need them or want them to give me COVID. What's difficult for me to do is to relay the answers to the questions you give me, because a lot of it is a memory. It's not a memory. It's gone. It's the what they call that COVID fog. It's so difficult for me to remember certain things and to focus on certain things. When I'm talking, I may just go blank, and because I don't know, I don't remember. Or what happens is, it's as if my brain shuts down and it's not that I don't remember, it's not working.
He was diagnosed with long COVID in February of 2022. He was in Pennsylvania. He called me and he couldn't breathe. And we have been telling him, we think you have COVID. So you need to sit up. And we were constantly telling him, but he was losing oxygen daily. And my daughter-in-law was there and she had her voice assistant speaker turned on. Had it not been for her having that turned on, he probably would have laid there and died. And she called me and she said, I think there's something wrong with Big Rick. So I said, call an ambulance. The ambulance got there and he was down to 23% oxygen. And they said he's not going to make it. And she called me and she said, we're taking him to the hospital. I said, okay. Got him to the hospital. The doctor called me and he said, he's pretty bad. He's really sick. He's got the Delta strain of COVID, and we don't know if he's going to make it. At that time, he was quarantined for 21 days. And once he came out of quarantine, I was permitted to see him. And they put him back in critical care because they said that his oxygen levels would just plummet. They called me and said, don't get on a plane going home. Your husband may not make it. So I returned and they told us that they would be putting him on a ventilator to hopefully get him better. They did allow us to see him because they were ventilating him, but he was in critical care for about 35 days and he was under the entire time. Once they brought him out of his coma, they then sent him to a step-down unit for recovery. And after 30 days in the step-down, that's when he returned home.
After the diagnosis of long COVID, I kind of handle things a little differently than most people. I just kind of went, oh, okay. I handle things differently than most people. I look at things as, if I'm breathing, if I can walk, even stumble a little bit, I don't ask you to help me, just leave me alone. I'm good.
I was a little nervous as well because there were still some breathing issues going on. And after home health would come in, he'd have occupational therapy, physical therapy, nursing care. He was still not breathing right, and his oxygen levels were not where they needed to be. And they just couldn't figure out what was going on. They needed to trach him again because his vocal cords were paralyzed. He had scar tissue that had built up on his vocal cords. And that's a symptom of long COVID as well.
Share my diagnosis with anyone that would listen. I would go into explaining the process of being in a coma. I would explain to them that I had difficulty breathing and the importance of maintaining your 6-foot distance between you and other people. And that was the big thing for me. Wear your mask. If you don't wear a mask, and the photographs that I have of the COVID that they drained out of me. So when people would say, well, if you get it, what's going to happen? And I would show them this picture of what comes out of your lungs when you have COVID. And they would look at me and ask me, how often did they do that? A couple of times a day, every day. And they're like, well, Ricky, what kept you alive? Drugs, prayer, that's all I can tell you. Once a reasonable portion of the brain fog goes away and you can begin to think, you can begin focusing on what you need to do to get yourself better. You lose your taste of food, you lose your smell. So you have to work on every aspect of your life that you normally lived prior to COVID. The long COVID, it's like it mimics COVID down to the very last part. You don't have COVID, but you're tired. You're weak. You have difficulty breathing. I take breathing treatments 4 times a day. I have to constantly work on my breathing because one of the things is with long COVID, typically individuals have it in their chest. Mine wasn't in my chest. It was in my throat. I've had 3 heart attacks, 4 strokes. Yeah.
He had the underlying health conditions that they all talked about, and that's why it's such a shock and a surprise that he's still alive. I saw that UAB was doing research through Facebook. It was a survey, and I completed the survey, put Ricky's phone number down so that they'd call him directly, and that was kind of how he connected with UAB. When thinking about participating in a community outreach survey, we thought about what Ricky had been through and that he has a story to tell. People just needed to know about it. People in our community, people in the African American community, any community, people needed to know his story and what he went through and what the survivors and the family goes through. Because it's not just him, it's the family that goes through things as well.
Everyone, the people that I talked to in the communication focus group, everyone was pleasant. It was a very pleasant, very welcoming. I was glad to become a part of it because I felt that there needs to be more people aware of COVID and long COVID. And this focus group, it puts the person in that position to experience it, to hear and exchange ideas and viewpoints on COVID and long COVID so that you can grow. And with knowledge comes the ability to address issues. So I like the fact that we're doing what we're doing.
I work from home now. So if there was anything I needed to go do, I needed to make sure that my sons were at least home so that they could be with their father, that he was taken care of and didn't need anything. So it's just important that people understand. And I know that there's a lot of people that have lost loved ones to COVID. It's just important for people to understand what you're going to go through and how to deal with it.
How I take care of myself now is Stacy bought me a machine to work out with.
He's on a pretty healthy diet as well. So food helps. Certain foods do help control your diet. Awesome. And a lot of prayer.
Yes, I don't smoke, don't vape, don't drink. Everything that I once did is gone. It's totally gone. There needs to be more people aware of COVID and long COVID.